Hi guys, Rob here, and in this video I'm going to show you my experiences of traveling the long way to Boracay via a combination of bus and ferry. Was it worth it? Let's find out. Is the northern bus station right near SM, and that's the Radisson, and SM City is over there. So I'm taking a long trip to Boracay via Bacolod. Going to stay a night or two in Bacolod and then catch a ferry across the Iloilo and then on to Boracay. So there's two buses you can take, one via Toledo, the other via Tagboylan in the north. So this is the one I'm taking. This goes via the north, and I'm going to get to Bacolod around 6 p.m. I think. Leave 9:30 a.m. Get there at 6 p.m. They're offering fried pillar. 120. 120. You can buy this. So the configuration for these seats is 3 single rows, which is probably good that you don't have 2 together so no one ends up falling asleep on your shoulder. So if you want to be walking distance to the bus station, you've got 2 choices. The Radisson Blue, which is obviously a upmarket hotel, or we've got the Bayfront. That's a more budget-friendly hotel. Northern bus station, you've got buses going obviously to the north. This one here is going to Bentaine Island. So one of the reasons I'm catching a bus is because I just don't like flying. In all the years I've traveled to Philippines, I've never flown domestically. I try and avoid flying wherever I can. So off we went. We're just riding north through Mandawi. And Mandawi, there's nothing much to see around here. It's a very industrial part of Cebu. There's the Sam Mig factory. All the windows are blown out from typhoon still. Just as long as they didn't damage the beer. So when you buy tickets on the bus here in the Philippines, or in Cebu anyway, you get the ticket first and then later on the conductor will come and collect the money. So I'll use Google Maps so you can follow my journey, the blue dot being my current location. Our first pit stop, we can go to the toilet and get some food or snacks. This is around Carmen, I think we are. It was actually just past Carmen, and that was really my only pit stop, with the exception at the pier. In hindsight, I should have picked up more food here. So I got my coffee and some cupcakes. So off again. At times it's a bit tedious, like getting stuck behind trucks that you could walk faster than. Jeez. That's the boat that we get on, or the ferry, which the bus will get on as well. Looks a bit of a rush bucket. It's a little bit more strict getting to Negros. When I went to Bohol, you need to show in your phone a photo of the S-Pass and your vaccination card, but here they needed a photocopy done, so had to rush to the corner of the highway to get a rush job done. So this wasted an extra 10 minutes getting the paperwork photocopied. A few other passengers had to do this as well. Anyhow, I got it done. So it's now 1:45 in the afternoon and we're on the boat waiting for it to leave. Here you can see my location on the map again. So it was an extra 130 for the ferry ticket. By 2:40 p.m. it left the pier. We're on our way. As you can see, it was full with the trucks and the bus. Generally this ferry takes 2 hours, but it was closer to 3 as we had to wait for another boat to leave the pier at Negros. So it was around 5:30 by the time we docked into Negros. And by the time we actually got onto the bus, it was about 5:45 p.m. Sitting in the bus again, I did feel I was getting a bit over it with such a long day of travel. The sun was setting in the west and we still had a couple of hours to go. Okay, so I've arrived in Bacolod. It's 8 o'clock at night. I'm totally wrecked and hungry. Haven't eaten since that pit stop, so looking forward to getting to the hotel. So the hotel's on the main drag here, as you can see behind me. In the city I stayed at the Cedar Hotel. I will do a video review of this place in the near future. I stayed here a couple of nights. There's a number of things you can do in the city, such as this. So Negros Forest Park is just a couple of blocks away from the hotel, so we're going to quick look at this. And what can you expect to see here? What should I see, look for?
Animals that only found in the Philippines, Negros and Panay, sir.
You can also check out the ruins, or if you have a little bit more time, check out Lakawan Island, which I have done another video in my channel, and please check it out later. So this is part 2 of my journey. I'm heading off to Iloilo this morning via ferry from Bacolod, and then I'm going to catch either a bus or V-Hire or even maybe a taxi from Iloilo to Boracay. We'll just see how it goes when I'm there. But right now I'm getting ready to catch the ferry over to Iloilo. Iloilo is a nice place to hang out as well. If I had more time and if it wasn't on stage 3 restrictions, I'd probably stay there for a couple of nights as well. Negros Island is one place worth checking out when you're there. So at the time of making this video, traveling from Bacolod to Iloilo, I just needed to show my vaccination card at the time of buying my ticket. The fastcraft itself was fairly empty. I took the 8:50 AM trip on a Sunday morning. It left at 9, so it was just a little bit late. There's a boat going off to Manila. The waters were actually choppy on this trip, and the boat was bouncing around a bit. Anytime you catch a ferry, you should check the weather. Bad weather can cause delays or even cancellations and totally disrupt your travel plans. Because it was a bit choppy, I had to take some seasick tablets. Or you may want to take these type of tablets. Even the staff were stumbling around on the boat. Once we got into the channel between Negros Island, the waters did calm down. You can see that the ocean's a lot flatter here. We're just coming through the channel between Negros Island and Panay Island, so it's a lot smoother. It was quite choppy out in the open water, and if I hadn't taken a seasick tablet, I would have been throwing my guts up. But we're coming onto Iloilo shortly, and to the left of me you can see Negros Island. So that was actually my roughest trip I've ever done between Bacolod and Iloilo. Normally it's not that rough. It looks like we're coming into Iloilo City now. The ferry's slowing down. There was a V-Hire at the pier going to Boracay. They charged me an extra 500 for my luggage. I'm getting a V-Hire. It's costing me 700 to go from the pier to Caticlan. So the trip via V-Hire takes 4 to 5 hours depending on traffic and the driver, how fast they go. If I was to do a taxi, I think it's around 4,000 to 5,000, I think. Due to COVID restrictions, they don't pack the vans as like they used to, which makes it a more comfortable ride. The van took just over 4 hours to get to the pier going to Boracay. After showing the QR pass and paying for the ticket and fees, it was off to Boracay. Arrived in Boracay, it's 3:30 in the afternoon, so an all-day trip. Come out to Boracay, they said, we'll have a few laughs, we'll get together. We'll enjoy the pristine beaches. One of the first things I noticed was Boracay's notorious algae, which seemed worse than ever. The locals assured me it wouldn't last very long. As the weather warmed up, it would dissipate. So to sum it all up, there's definitely more cons than pros to traveling this way. So in conclusion, it's definitely a tiring trip, and even breaking up, I felt wrecked at each stopping point. I needed a couple days break, so you need to take that in consideration. Although you can see lots of different things and adventures on your way. Going via Tagboylan is slightly longer than going via Toledo, and really there's no reason to go the longer way unless you want to stop off somewhere on that routing. Anyhow, if you don't want to fly and you want to take this longer adventure, there you go, that's what you can expect. Taking this path is definitely not going to be for everybody. In regards to travel restrictions and protocols, traveling between the islands, I wouldn't say it's hard, it's just annoying. I just wish the government and local authorities would just streamline it a bit better. But things are changing all the time, so they may sort it out better. And that also means checking before you go, as what I've shown in the video may not be relevant in a couple months' time. If you want to see some other amazing adventures I've had in the Philippines, click on one of these videos on screen now. There are some amazing videos that I've done on some fantastic places to visit here. Until then, keep safe out there, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.